Hello, fishermen. This is all about wire trolling down deep in that 80 to 100 foot depth. Check this out.
Come on, fish. Let's take a minute now and show you another type of trolling that a lot of the old-timers around the Point Defiance area use. It's called meat fishing, and they use 8-10 pounds of weight. They have a special way of setting it up. And today we have a special guest with us on what we're talking about, deep water trolling here with downriggers and meat lines. Tom Berger from Hook, Line, and Sinker. He's been kind enough to come out and help us today, and so we're going to introduce him right now. Tom, how long have you been salmon fishing out here in the Puget Sound area?
Oh, just about all my life, but probably with a meat line for the last 30 years anyway.
Really? What is some of the bigger fish you've caught out here?
Well, 32 pounds around the point is the biggest I've caught, but there's been lots of fish caught on meat lines like this old packman right here. From Point Defiance to Greens Point, the whole South Sound, these things were real...
Collector's item, I imagine, weren't they?
Right.
Gee, look at that. That is really something. Now, I noticed that rod is not very long. What kind of weight do you run on that?
Well, they run anywhere from 4 to 6 pounds. You're dealing with a lot thinner diameter line than you are with your downriggers. This is 90-pound test, so really 4 pounds will cut the water a lot finer than, say, a downrigger using 150 to 225-pound test line. So really the weight, you don't need near the weight with a meat line as you do with a downrigger.
Well, I noticed too now on the end of this, I can't help but ask, now that is a pulley and a half. Now what is there about this pulley? Why do you need such a large pulley on the end of your rod?
Well, it enables you to bring up your line and your fly line, well, what we call fly line is 50-pound test monofilament. But instead of having small guides, you can bring this all the way through. You can detach your sinker, and then you can crank everything right up to the guides, your fish, so on and so forth, and you can guide it into the net.
Now, I noticed that you have a counter on that pulley. What's the counter for? Now, that's something I've never seen before. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, Doc, it's kind of my own invention. This is just your standard cold strand pulley, 4-inch diameter. We put a counter on it. You have to remember, just like in your downrigger, the counter is to be used as a reference point. It's not exact. If you're in 150 feet of water and your counter says 150 feet, you're probably really only fishing at about 120 to 115 feet. But if you use it as a reference point and you start getting fish, you can always go back to that point, depending on your trolling speed, etc.
What do you have there on that reel? Now, I noticed that reel is a little bit different than I've been used to seeing in the past. You know, I've been using these pen reels. This looks like something out of an old textbook or something. Talk to me about that reel.
Well, these are pretty basic. These are pretty basic reels. These are old packmans. It's got an extension handle on it. They became real popular in the 50s. Right after the war, they went from antenna reels to pack-run reels, from pack-runs to your Graham reels, and of course now you got the state-of-the-art Albee reels for meat lining, if there is such a thing as the state-of-the-art. However, these pack-runs, you're still going to see a lot of them around. Parts are unavailable anymore, but worst comes to worst, you can always run a screwdriver through these holes and you have just a direct breakdown.
So that's what it is, and just direct drive. Is there a drag on that at all, or is it called the old knuckle buster?
Well, these are an old knuckle buster, but there is a drag as such. And your drag, but your handles are still going to turn around.
Yeah.
So consequently, it's going to bang you in the knuckles. But these old reels have caught an awful lot of fish, from Point Defiance to Olympia.
Now that reel, let me look at that thing one more time. Give me a little bit better close-up on it. Now explain to me what we have here. What are all the ins and outs of this reel? What kind of material is it made out of?
Well, it's solid brass with a plating. You've got an extension handle. You've got a basic drag with washers. And really, that's all there is to it. It's just kind of a no-nonsense, cheap approach to controlled depth fishing.
Well, I tell you what, let's stick that gear out then, and let's see you work that reel and see if you have anything that you'd like to put together. And I'd really like to see your technique on. Now, you like to fish plugs, you said.
Yes, I do like to fish.
Right, plugs are what you like, and you have a particular way of doing it that you were sharing with me, and I'd like for you to show us from start to finish how you rig your gear, and let's put it in the water and see if we can hit something.
Okay, let's go fishing.
Tom, let's put this all together now. What have we done here? What do we have? What kind of plug is that?
Well, this is a large 111 plug, single side wash hook. Barbs are pinched, of course. And this is just the type of stuff I like to fish with. And basically what you do is, first of all, let's just get her in the water. What we're going to do is we're going to let out our fly line, which on this particular rod is about 15 feet.
Now I notice there's a swivel assembly there. What is that exactly? What's happening here?
Okay, now this is where we're going to attach our weight. We don't use a snubber on this, and this allows us to take the weight totally off once we get a fish on.
Really? Now let's see that hookup setup. Hold that up for me so I can really get a good close-up.
Okay, you got a clothespin commercial snap, piece of green cutty hunk with a couple swivels, and all it does is attach like so.
I see, and it slides up and down that cutty hunk.
That's right. The cutty hunk, you can just replace it easier than having to slide up and down the cable.
And then how many pounds of weight are we looking at here?
This particular weight right here is 5 pounds.
And how long a leader is that from that release?
Approximately 3 feet, but that's really up to the individual. It
so
doesn't
now,
really matter.
what I see here is you're going to feel this weight bounce the bottom, much of what I was doing with Gordon. Is that what you're going to do?
Exactly. Same technique.
Now, how many feet of line from that? Is that a ball bearing swivel on where your hand is there, or is that a barrel swivel assembly?
No, this is just a barrel swivel, but ball bearings is really your choice.
I see. And then how many feet a leader is going from that swivel assembly to the plug?
Well, I find that if you're going to use a flasher and squid, go with 12 feet. If you're going to use plugs, anywhere from 18 to 25 feet.
And what pound test leader are you finding that works good?
Oh, I like 50-pound test.
50-pound test, okay. Well, now, if back up again here, we have how many pounds of weight there?
Okay, we've got 5 pounds of weight.
And how many inches a leader?
We have 36 inches, 3 feet.
And we have cutty hunk there. How many pound test line is coming off the reel?
Off the reel is 90-pound test, 7-strand stainless steel wire.
Great. And then that's all tied into how many feet again to the plug?
Between 15 and 25 feet.
Well, let's put her in the water and see what happens, big guy. So that's basically pretty easy fishing there, isn't it?
Oh, very basic. This is just kind of a no-nonsense approach to controlled depth fishing.
And you've been doing this how many years?
Oh, probably about 30 years.
That's great. That's really great. Now I notice that you're not letting it down by your hand. This looks like a trick that you've learned over the years.
Well, when you palm an old packerman like this, it's just a lot quicker than trying to hand line it down all the time. Okay, the counter's at 95 feet. I thought we'd try that for a while. We're probably actually only fishing at between 70 and 75 feet.
I see the counter's at 95 feet. Well, come on, fish. Let's go. Tom, over the years, I can see that reel has probably caught more fish. It's probably older than I am, you know. Is there anything new been developed? Has anything new been developed over the years?
Oh, we got all sorts of new tricks now.
For example?
Well, LV Reels out of Australia has a real humdinger going.
Really? Yeah, can you show us that, please?
You bet. Let's take a look at it.
John, come on, fish.
Okay, this is the LV Reel. It's basically your same setup as with your Packrin, except you got a nice fiberglass body, stainless steel side plate, and you have no more knuckle buster. You have a nice star drag system that'll hold a whale. These things come out of Australia. We've had them over here for probably the last 10 years. They've been very popular around Point Defiance in that area for probably the last 7 to 8 years. Virtually maintenance free. As far as meat lines go, it's the state of the art.
Is that right? What makes it so good? I mean, just because it has a drag on there?
Oh, yes. The drag is much more powerful and stronger than the old Packrins. There's no knuckle busters. When you get a fish on, it actually moves the drag in a nice smooth fashion, you know, where before you had the constant jerk, and particularly if you had a screwdriver holding everything together, there was no drag at all.
That screwdriver technique, I imagine that a lot of guys have used that.
Oh, hey, there's still a lot of them that are using it right now.
Is that right? Now, what kind of material is it made out of?
Well, this is all fiberglass, stainless steel back, and straight 1-to-1, so there's no gearing to it. And really, there's nothing to go wrong with it. You have a nice extension handle here, comfortable grips. For this type of fishing, this is it.
Tom, I'd like to thank you for coming out.